Once you have a basic understanding of machine learning, its basic paradigms, algorithms and their implementation, you are encouraged to move on to more advanced topics such as legislation, ethics and project management related to machine learning. As mentioned in earlier videos, the Machina project consists of 6 learning units. In this case, we will look at the 6th unit, which completes the ICT Professionals curriculum. In this module, you will become familiar with EU ethical and legal standards for machine learning applications. In addition, you will learn what the ML model life cycle is, what its components are, what project management requirements are for an AI application, and many other equally important aspects for creating a quality ML product. The following 4 lessons have been created to acquire knowledge and skills about all of the previously mentioned. Their names are EU Guidelines on Ethics in AI, Data Value and Cost Model, Bias in Machine Learning, and Software Engineering for AI Applications. Artificial intelligence is developing rapidly, which has a significant impact on our society. Recently there have been more and more discussions focused on the question of whether AI should be regulated. To implement AI in the EU guiding ethical principles, the EU has carved out a human-centric approach to AI that is respectful of European values and principles. Moreover, to give EU citizens control over their personal data and privacy, the European Parliament adopted the GDPR in April 2016. In the first lesson, we will have an overview of the EU ethics for AI and ML applications, define the RGPD and legal constraints and identify the AI regulation for AI applications. The second lesson deals with data economy. In each topic, we will focus on specific machine learning requirements, data value and classification, legal constraints as well as the data market organization and personal data value. Moreover, you will be able to identify data sources characteristics and define a data collection project. Despite the effectiveness of AI and ML technologies, important considerations need to be taken into account when developing ML applications. One of the biggest problems is bias. Humans can be biased, so there is the idea that if we hand over decision-making to computers, we can avoid some of it. Nevertheless, in practice, we realize that algorithms can be just as biased as the people who create them. If the algorithms are flawed or biased, this can lead to increased injustice and inequality. For example, a study conducted at the MIT Media Lab found that the leading facial recognition systems correctly identified white males' faces 99% of the time. However, when recognizing dark-skinned female faces, they made mistakes up to 35% of the time. You will learn why this is the case and how to change the situation in this course. In this lesson, we will give an overview of bias in machine learning, identify the different types of bias in machine learning, and discuss how to avoid it. Finally, yet importantly, is the topic of software engineering for AI applications. Software engineering is the study and practice of software engineering for the creation, design, development, maintenance and decommissioning of software. It is important because specific software is needed in almost every industry and for every function, including its role in creating artificial intelligence applications. There are different areas of software engineering, and it performs many functions throughout the life cycle of an application. The main steps to be followed are business analysis, data preparation, modeling, evaluation of the solution, implementation, and testing. So the lesson 4 will give you an understanding of software engineering and lifecycle for an AI application, and beyond that, provide information about the types of software architecture used for an AI application. To summarize the information about this unit, it is worth saying that students will have the following objectives: understand the EU law and regulations for AI and ML applications, identify the different types of bias in AI and their consequences, know the project management requirement and life cycle for AI applications. Thank you for watching the video about the 6th and final module of the Machina project. You can visit our social media and website to find out more details about Machina project. We also encourage you to watch a video about the project itself and the aims of its first and third learning units.